interest rates seem set to stay at record lows or even fall further, many are rejoicing. Real estate agents, home buyers and business are all happy. But self-funded retirees are seeing things very differently. Many have not only seen their nest eggs slashed in value, but returns have plummeted by more than 60%, as Phil Carey reports.
Travel, golf or just plain relaxing used to be the main focus of self-funded retirees. Risk wasn't even in their vocabulary.
There's so many fearful things surrounding us in terms of the interest rates that affect term deposits.
Self-funded retirees like 70-year-old Jenny Basil are finding it a very nerve-wracking time. And it all started with the GFC, where she lost 30% of her portfolio.
Took a big hit. And then, of course, you think things are going to get better, and they don't.
And when you look at the average return for 3-year, 12-month or 6-month term deposit interest rates since 2009, you can see why.
Well, they're going to have to accept some more risk or draw on their capital.
According to financial advisor Tony Bates, the low interest rate environment is really starting to affect many of the 1 million or so self-funded retirees.
So you had $500,000 in term deposits back then, 5 years ago, you could have earned $36,000 a year. That's now a third of that, $12,000 a year, $1,000 a month, $250 a week. That hurts.
Duncan Fairweather, Executive Director of the recently formed Small to Medium Super Fund Alliance, says at the low end of the scale, those with $100,000 invested, they're really starting to hurt.
We're, in a sense, feeling like the forgotten people who do have a very important stake here in terms of being the people who save and who provide the capital for the people who borrow.
If you're retired and live off your own account-based pension, the federal government says you must withdraw a certain amount of cash, a percentage of your fund, each year, based on how much you have and how old you are. Only 5 years ago, you could generate 3 times the amount of money you must draw out for the pension, so a lot more in than out. But today, in the low interest rate environment, you only generate half the amount of money you must draw out, so a lot more out than in.
It's gone down from 7% for 3 years, which is terrific, but then when I had to renew it, it's gone down to 4% for 3 years, and is now eating into the capital because they will only repay you 93% of the capital.
These people are innately conservative and like to have a significant proportion of their retirement savings tucked away securely in the bank.
The idea of having money sitting in the bank sounds safe, but when the inflation rate is eating away at 2.4% against an interest rate of 2.5%, and you're paying tax on your money, you're going backwards.
For some, the answer may seem simple: start chasing better returns, but that too can be risky.
Running from one asset class to another in a sort of chase for yield or a hunt for income, is a dangerous sort of path to go down.
It's frightening. So I'm adapting to, because I don't have any dependents, fortunately, I'm going to spend it.
With more rate cuts on the horizon, the self-funded symphony isn't finished yet.